Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. Fox tossing was a blood sport popular in 18th and 17th century Europe, where people would compete to sling a fox or other small animal into the air. This was usually fatal for the fox. In 1809, the Austrian army accidentally attacked itself during the Battle of Wagram. Confused by darkness and miscommunication, one unit mistook another for the enemy and launched a full-on assault. Over 10,000 men were involved in the chaos. There was an eighth continent, Zealandia, which subsided after breaking away some 80 million years ago. It was almost the size of Australia, and a recent study suggests it to be over 1 billion years old, about twice as old as geologists previously thought. A pill bug does not urinate. It expels ammonia through its exoskeleton. It's classified as a crustacean and not an insect. It turns purple or blue when fighting infections. And it can feed on heavy metals with zero consequences. In tug of war, there are at least 2 mechanisms of injury that can result in amputation. Richard Nixon had the White House Secret Service Uniform Division's uniforms redesigned for formal occasions in 1969. The white and gold uniforms were widely criticized and subsequently pulled from service. Many eventually wound up as high school marching band uniforms. When an Italian film called The Miracle was released in the US in December of 1950, it led to so much religious controversy that the issue went directly to a 1951 Supreme Court case ruling that finally declared the legal precedent of First and 14th Amendments protection for the film. The first recorded use of "May the 4th be with you" was on the day Margaret Thatcher won the 1979 UK general election. Her party purchased an ad in the news which read, "Dear Maggie, may the 4th be with you, your party workers." Leif Segerstam, the Finnish conductor, wrote 371 symphonies. A rural Texas town changed its name to Dish as part of a promotional deal with the Dish Network in exchange for 15 years of basic satellite TV for residents. Joshua trees are more closely related to asparagus than actual trees. En route to Nagasaki to deliver Fat Man on August 9, 1945, St. Elmo's fire appeared around the B-29 aircraft. The boxcar experienced an uncanny luminous blue plasma form around the spinning propellers. Quote, "It was as though we were riding the whirlwind through space on a chariot of blue fire." The Salisbury Cathedral clock, dating from around 1386, is considered to be the oldest working mechanical clock in the world. Built without a dial, it uses a verge and foliate mechanism and was restored in 1956 after centuries of service in the now demolished bell tower. During a 2017 basketball game in Auckland, New Zealand, player Akil Mitchell's left eyeball popped out of its socket after an accidental collision with an opposing player. Mitchell could feel the eye on the side of his face and could still see out of it. Mitchell managed to make a full recovery. The true reason the vast Hudson Bay lowlands remain largely uninhabited and even undiscovered is because it's all a muskeg. That's a wetland landscape of bogs and wetlands comprising organic matter which can get so soft during thaw that it's known to sink building structures and even train cars. The University of Minnesota commissioned a local artist to create its mascot, the Golden Gophers, and the man they picked had never seen a gopher before. His design was based on chipmunks. The plane in the 1983 Gimli glider incident was repaired and regularly used up until 2008. There's a sea creature called the skeleton panda sea squirt that looks like a tiny floating panda with a skeleton inside. It was discovered near Japan and officially named the Kulavina ossipandi, which means little bottle of panda bones. The part of the road where a split happens with a triangle shape and is marked with lines is called a gore. The office of Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem has been around since 1099, having been first established in the wake of the First Crusade. In 1984, Richard Pryor starred in a kids show on CBS called Pryor's Place. It ran for 1 season, and Ray Parker Jr. of Ghostbusters fame performed the theme song. Chromadosis is a rare chronic condition that causes sweat to have a color like black, blue, green, yellow, or brown. 12th century Vikings broke into a Stone Age tomb in Orkney and left runic graffiti, 30 in total. In fact, one inscription read, "Thulfir Kolbinson carved these runes high up." The vertebrate with the shortest lifespan is a fish called the pygmy goby. It has a maximum lifespan of 59 days. Ants are much more closely related to bees than wasps are. The Underworld's Born Slippy.nuxx from the Transporting soundtrack had vocals recorded in one take after a night of drinking. Carl Hyde meant it as a cry for help from alcoholism and repeated lines when he lost his place, resulting in the iconic lager, 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 lager. For the purposes for scientific research, bioscience companies can create a window to a cow's stomach. They are known as fistula cows. Ah Wells was a black Wisconsin woman who earned her high school diploma at 92 years old. She said, and I quote, "I want to take a course in botany. I do not know where else I can go, but I am sure that there is something else I can do." Nearly all adaptations of Gulliver's Travels only focus on his journeys to the lands of the very tiny and very huge people. The novel contains more adventures, a flying island of scientists, and an island of sentient horses. The Chinese government, despite officially being atheist, regulates the reincarnation of all Buddhist lamas and other religious figures. Reincarnated living Buddhas must receive official approval, for which monasteries apply before being recognized. The Pope is officially Bishop of Rome, Vicar of Jesus Christ, successor of the Prince of Apostles, Supreme Pontiff of the Universal Church, Patriarch of the West, Primate of Italy, Metropolitan Archbishop of the Rome of Province, Sovereign of the Vatican State City, and Servant of the Servants of God. The lyrics of Duel of the Fates, which is the music written by John Williams for the duel between Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan, are actually a Sanskrit translation of a 1,000-year-old Welsh poem, Cad Gadot. It's about a wizard enchanting trees to fight in his army. High pressure reverses anesthesia and alcohol inebriation. Deep-sea divers experiencing high pressure are resistant to anesthesia and alcohol. This helped reveal how anesthesia works. The game Okami was named the least commercially successful winner of a Game of the Year award in the 2010 version of the Guinness World Records Gamers Edition. The flashlight in 1899 could only run for 5 minutes before needing to allow its batteries to recover, and could only run for 30 minutes before it needed a battery replacement. It was used mostly by policemen and railway workers. 3 Catholic bishops ordained several women into the priesthood in 2002. The Roman Catholic Church didn't recognize these ordinations as valid and excommunicated the women. The Fata Morgana illusion is a mirage or optical illusion that can make ships or cities appear to float in the sky. The phenomenon is most common in polar regions or over large bodies of water and is caused by the bending of light rays in the atmosphere. Mike Flanagan's horror films are known for a lack of jump scares, but the first episode of Midnight Club from 2022 ironically set the Guinness World Record with 21 jump scares. Flanagan designed this so jump scares could be rendered meaningless. The last queen consort of Sikkim, a country that ceased to exist in 1975, was an American who was born in San Francisco. Trebuchets are actually just a classification of catapult, and no definition of a catapult specifies how any particular design is meant to store or release potential energy, meaning it's never wrong to call a trebuchet a catapult. In Australia, the phrase doing a Bradbury means achieving an unexpected or unusual success. The phrase references Stephen Bradbury, a short track speed skater that won a gold medal in the Winter Olympics from last place after the entire field ahead of him crashed out on the final corner. Pro wrestler Kevin Sullivan once wrote a storyline or kayfabe about his wife Nancy, ring name Woman, leaving him for fellow wrestler Chris Benoit. The storyline would lead to a real-life affair between Chris and Nancy. The resulting marriage tragically ended in 2007. When the 2007 Apex Summit began, a prank show launched a prank to have an actor dressed as Bin Laden arrive in a fake motorcade. Despite having explicitly fake IDs and vehicle stickers, the prank had to be called off after they reached the front door of Bush's hotel without being stopped. When invited to his Harvard class of 1962 reunion, Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, RSVP'd, putting his occupation as prisoner and his 8 life sentences as awards. Louisiana is the only state whose private legal system is based on civil law, rather than the traditional American common law. The modern iteration of Sudoku was only invented in 1979. The Deceased Wife's Sister's Marriage Act of 1907 is a thing. An act of Parliament of the United Kingdom permits widowed men to marry their dead wife's sister and had previously not been legal. Under the act, a man marrying his divorced but living ex-wife's sister was still forbidden. Americans work more hours a year than the Japanese. Marozia, who was allegedly the mistress of Pope Sergius III, was the mother of Pope John XI. In 2005, Sony spent over $1 million to drop 250,000 bouncy balls off of one of the steepest streets in San Francisco, breaking windows and destroying cars in the process. That's it for this time, guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please leave a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks again.